Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
Recording in progress. And welcome to our podcast universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. If this is your first time tuning in, I am actor Brandon Rush. I have been in 80 TV shows and movies all around the United States and London. And my mom is my partner on this show and the co-host, and she is a pharmaceutical sales specialist. We've done 143 episodes. We are in 78 countries in 918 cities around the world. So we are very excited for all the guests that we have from different walks of life, from people I've worked with in the acting community, casting directors, writers, producers, actors, actresses, to doctors, lawyers, CEOs of companies, small businesses, military, veterans, and teachers. And so we've had just about everything on here. If you're ever interested in being on the show, you're more than welcome to write me at Buckle Up Podcast, which is BuckleUppPodcast. That's one of my Instagram handles for the Buckle Up Podcast page, or on my personal Instagram page, which is Brandon Rush, BrandonRushh. That's two H's. You can either write in my comment section or you can DM us directly. We're on most podcast directories. The main ones that people really usually check out are YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're in several other ones as well. We have 18.8 million viewers and listeners in all those 78 countries that we're in 909 cities around the world. Today, we have a very special guest. If you were here for Keicon Cherry, this is a little bit about his background. We're excited to have Keicon Cherry, hopefully I said that correct, a casting producer with nearly a decade of experience in Los Angeles, working on some of television's most recognizable competition and reality TV shows. He has helped discover and cast dynamic personalities for major network productions, including The Voice, America's Got Talent, Name That Tune, and Don't Forget the Lyrics. Keicon began his career working his way up through many roles in television production, from production assistant to audience coordinator, logger, talent assistant, development assistant, casting assistant, casting associate producer, and now casting producer. That journey has given him a deep understanding of television from every angle. His experiences interviewing contestants and studying human behavior has helped him to develop a sharp instinct for identifying what makes someone compelling on screen. And let me just say a thank you to him and all people that have worked behind the scenes on all these shows, especially casting. That's why we have so many casting directors and associates and assistants on the show, and crew members, because you all are definitely the heart and beat of everything behind show business. Without you all, this would not be possible. It takes a village, I always say. So we're excited to have Keicon on here today to tell us his story, and we'll be letting him in here in just a few minutes. Okay, let's see here.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Sorry, I've been doing Zooms all day. I was about to pin you up there, but I am not the host of this meeting.
Okay.
I am well. How are you doing?
Doing great. That's too funny. It's great to hear on your end like that. You're used to pinning people up there.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I say your name correctly. Is it pronounced Keicon, or am I wrong on that?
You are wrong in that. It's pronounced Keicon.
Keicon.
Yes, Keicon.
Oh, Keicon. I want to apologize because I did an intro earlier and I did pronounce it wrong. So I do want to apologize for that.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I also want to welcome my mom's on here too. She just uses her headshot.
Okay, I actually don't see her. So
oh, really?
I don't see a headshot either.
Oh, Brandon, let's get that. Hey, Keicon, how
Hi,
are you?
how you doing, Mama Rush?
I'm doing great today. Do you mind if I just say Cherry? That's your last name.
Sure.
Keicon. We'll go. I think you prefer Keicon, right?
Yeah, Keicon.
Just say Keicon. can say
Yes.
Keicon. I just remember when I was at university, they used to call us by our last name. So they would
Yes.
say, you know how they call you last name. And so you get so used to saying the last name.
Yes. Yes.
But your name is
It
beautiful.
is
Thank you
beautiful.
so much. Thank you. I
What
appreciate that.
What's the
where does it
origin
originate
of it? Your
from?
mother? Your
Yeah.
mother? Or your daddy came up with
Yeah,
the name?
no, my mom gave me the name. So I think I'm a 90s baby. I think she was being creative. However,
Okay.
I did come to find out that Keicon is a city in Vietnam.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, found
Wow.
that out later in life. But yeah.
Okay, hey, nothing wrong with that. Well, we want to welcome you so much to the Buckle Up Podcast universe for Brandon Rush and Mama Rush.
Yes. And Brandon, 1 minute. I want to ask Keeson, can he see my picture now?
No.
Let me see
Really?
something. Let me do one thing. Can you see it now?
No, Mom, it's black now.
Okay. All righty. Brandon, you see my
I don't even
picture.
see it on my end. I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
no. I only see you, Brandon, and I hear like it comes up on the top, Mama Rush, but no, I don't see
Okay.
a photo at all.
Oh, well, that's
Okay,
okay.
yeah, that's all right. I'll have to send you a photo of my mom later. She's quite beautiful.
Thank you,
And no,
Brandon.
listen, love that. I was like, let
Thank
me
you,
get my life
Brandon.
together. It's so bright here where I am, so I had it closed, but I saw that line on me. So let me move myself. Maybe
Oh,
it
Okay.
won't be that crazy.
no,
Oh,
you're good.
let's see if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I see what he's saying. The blinds.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. Okay, we'll stay there. Hopefully,
Okay.
it
All
doesn't
right,
look
perfect.
awkward.
Well, welcome so much, as I said before, it's the Buckle Up Podcast with Brandon Rush,
Mama Rush.
and today we have on Keicon.
Correct, correct.
All right, Keicon on here, Keicon Cherry, who is a your producer now, a full-on casting
Yes,
producer.
casting producer, casting and development.
Will you please tell us the journey of first off, thank you so much for coming here. We appreciate you. But will you tell us the journey of how you went about doing this? Today it's all about you.
Yeah, so let's start back from the beginning.
Yes, please.
The story's told in 2015. I was just an undergrad student at the Virginia State University,
Oh,
where
no way.
I got my
I'm from
master's.
Virginia.
Oh, nice, same, Charlottesville, Virginia. So
Okay, yeah.
went to Virginia State, got my bachelor's, excuse me, in mass communications. My concentration was film. I always knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment industry, just more so on my personal side. I'm a recording artist as well, so I did shows like BT Sunday Best, and then when I got to Virginia State, I got to do America's Got Talent. So that world always fascinated me, and being behind the scenes and being able to tell stories. So after graduating from Virginia State in 2015, I then went on to get my master's degree from Full Sail University, where I graduated 2017. I was actually valedictorian of my class. Shout out
Oh,
to
wow.
that was
Congratulations.
that was
Yeah.
that was a huge accomplishment for myself. However, after 2017, I moved to Los Angeles, California to start my career. And
Mhm.
the rest is history. I started as a production assistant. I had an amazing mentor, God rest his soul, by the name of Troy Duvall. And he was a story producer on shows like Basketball Wives and
Yeah.
all these great shows. He actually wrote the book on reality television.
Really?
He passed last year. However,
Awesome.
he really guided me and told me where to go and who to talk to and what type of shoulders to rub in order to build my career. I always knew I wanted to work in reality television from, I guess, since the earlier 2000s, since watching shows like The Real World. So I
Yeah.
wanted to do reality television. So then fast forward, I'm in LA. I start as a office production assistant for a company called The Farm LA. And then from
Okay.
there, transitioned over into audience coordinating with a company called One Iota. Through working with One Iota for the years that I've worked with them, I was able to be on different shows and work in different sets and kind of just network and rub shoulders with people who did what I eventually wanted to do, which was
Absolutely.
casting. And
Yeah.
I want to say pre-pandemic, maybe 2018. I did well. Actually, let me backtrack. 2016, before I moved out to LA, I got the opportunity to go to Philly and work as a casting assistant, excuse me, for a live open call for NBC's The Voice.
Okay.
Or to, I want to say maybe last year, I just did my 14th season in
Wow.
some compass of the show, be it audience coordination, casting, talent. So my career has been great. I would say I've done a lot of shows. I've been on a lot of sets, and I got to make a couple stars.
Okay, absolutely. I first off, I want to just say thank you for what you've done. I work on the TV side of, like, I work on I guess not scripted TV side of things.
Okay, nice.
So all that you explained from you have grinded to get to where you are.
Yeah.
Just and people don't realize. I know you just said it like that, but that is years of dedication. That is a lot of hours on set. You usually had to be either the first person there or one of the people there the earliest, and then one of the last to go home.
Definitely.
So I just want to thank you for that, because that is not an easy. That is not easy. You've literally grinded to get to where you are.
Yeah, I'm thankful. It's been a lot of hard work, dedication, a lot of long hours on my feet and on set. So I'm just thankful for where I am now, and every company, every person who gave me an opportunity.
Absolutely. One question for you: what do you think, on the casting side of things? How do you go about choosing the talent that you think would be right? Because you must meet all these different personalities, but and how do you go about figuring out, hey, this is what person would be right for this, or might not be right for this? How do you go about doing that process, I guess?
It really depends on the show, to be honest. Like I can kind of speak to I did 5 seasons of Married at First Sight. So I can kind of speak to that. I know for that show, that was one of the toughest shows I've ever worked on, only because you have to find like people who want to marry a stranger. Of
Yeah.
course, there are, requirements that you have to meet. You have to make a certain amount of money. As a man, you have to be a certain height,
Oh.
and things of that nature. I don't think you can have kids on that show. That may have changed now. However, I know they're casting now. I'm not working on the season. So any single men want to apply for Married at First Sight, they are casting. However, I would just say it's more so just knowing what the show is and
Hmm.
what it requires. I often say, and I say this a lot when I do types of platforms like this, is nobody can beat you. We can always tell when you're being a version of something that you're not. Like we
Yeah.
producers, we usually know within the first 30 seconds, okay, this person is a star, or this person needs a little more work. So it just
Hmm.
kind of really depends on the show, to answer your question. Again, for that show, so to speak, do you have the look? Do you fall in the requirements? Are you going to be willing to go through the process of what the show is? Can you take off of work?
Yeah.
Certain shows require passports. Do you have a valid passport? Do you know the show? Are you knowledgeable in the area of the show? So it really depends on the show. Now, doing the game show like I'm doing right now, for 99 to Beat, which we are
Okay.
actively casting, it's energy. Game shows are all about energy, 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 energy. And one thing I would say about 99 to Beat, I love the show. We just had the opportunity to do the first season, and now we're looking for another season. And
Hmm.
it was a great show because this is the show where you don't have to be the strongest, you don't have to be first, just don't finish last. So this is literally the game show that anybody can do. And it's a huge cash prize, like a life-changing amount of money. So with
Yeah.
this show, it's just more so, what's your energy? I often get on Zooms and tell people, hey, this is not a job interview. You don't have
Yeah.
to be starch. We want to feel you. What's your personality? What's your style? Who are you?
Absolutely.
What's your story? So it's mainly, can you speak well? Do you meet our qualifications? And are you entertaining?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. And then you said you did the voice as well. So how do you go about when it's people's voices? Because I love the voice. I've watched that for years. But sometimes I feel like people should be going for it, but they don't. Because, like, hey, man, this person has an amazing voice. Are they not hearing the same thing that I'm hearing? So it's just like, how do you go about with that? How's that process go about?
Now, for the voice, I never actually worked in a casting role where I was actually got to scout talent, um,
Okay.
and like okay, you're going to this person. I've always worked like in assistant roles there and or
Hmm.
on set as a talent assistant, which I love that because as a singer, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a singer too. I love you guys. Like I feel your nervousness. But what I will say for shows like that, because I'm always sending singers to the casting team and things of that
Hmm.
nature. It's just more so, do you have it?
Yeah.
Untapped. Are you confident in yourself? Do you have that personality? Because again, doing 14 seasons with them and being on set and seeing the talent that actually make it, they have that one thing in common. One, they're confident. One,
Yeah.
two, most of them, they know who they are as an artist. And if they don't know who they are as an artist, they at least didn't have the fear. They put themselves out there. Because I often say, being on those sets, sometimes when they don't make it, you have to send them this way, or if they make you send them this way. And I tell everybody, congratulations on making it this far, because it's so many rounds to get to the big stage. And I even think about myself. Doing Sunday Best in like 2009. I was 18, fresh out of high school. Even to this day, with all the things that I do now, there are still people from back home. It's like, oh, that's Keicon. He was on Sunday Best. And I'm like, technically I was, but my audition made it. So people will always remember you for being on the board. And it's just kind of so how you take being on this platform and how you are able to monetize it in your real world once your 15 seconds of fame is over.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I want to ask a question here. Have you ever met someone and instantly known that they would be great on television? And with that is the second part to that question is this: they didn't make one show that you had selected them or picked them for, but you were able to put them on another show or a different show. So if you can answer that two-part question for me, it'd be great.
Yes, I have, and yes, So yes to both.
Okay.
Without giving names. Yes, I have. And I meet people all the time. I'm a people person. I could be in a grocery store and be like, "Hey, excuse me, what's your name?" I'm a casting producer. Here's my casting Instagram. I want to send you this application. I think you'll be great for this. So yes, that happens all the time, and I often tell people. Especially when they sign up to my casting database, I often let them know my casting database is shared amongst other casting producers as well. So in the event that, I'm not able to cast you for something, and or if you're not right for this, if you're signed up to my database, another producer could potentially reach out to you to say, hey, I found you on Keicon's database. I think you'll be great for XYZ. Even today, I called someone for something else. They weren't great for that, and I was able to get them a Zoom for what I'm currently casting now. So yes, it happens all the time.
Oh, that sounds great. Brandon probably can tell you about his feel with that whole thing. Brandon, you have been on how many TV shows?
80 so far.
But people, I think sometimes they fail to realize that's a process. Brandon, that's a process on your side. And you tell me a little bit about that with casting. I know our audience, and by the way, we have about 18.8 million people viewing the show, following the show, and we're in 908 countries and cities. But with that said, and we have this certain audience that we always are trying to help young people. But Brandon, kind of share with Keicon. Is he there?
Yeah, I'm making sure you said it's Keicon, Mom.
I'm saying
it's Keicon, right?
Cherry. Listen, Cherry is easy for me. Share with Cherry.
Oh, Keicon. All right.
What, Brandon?
I'm trying to give it. Is it Keicon or we're struggling here, man.
It always happens. Keicon. I always tell people Keicon. Nissan with the K.
Okay, gosh.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Keicon. Yeah, share. We had our casting director on the other day, Brandon, and you remember how he told you, we're not the final say on who's chosen. And that's something you can speak on, Brandon, as well as Keicon.
So Keicon, what my mom is basically saying, so because I work on it, we have a lot of casting directors on the scripted side that I've worked with, I've been blessed to work with. And oftentimes with how it works on this, as you probably already know, but how it works on the scripted side of TV, the casting director doesn't make the final decision, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way in your business and in your unscripted side as well. It has to go to the producer, the director, the writer, but then from there, it has to go to the studio. It has to go to the network. Would you please, that's on the scripted side. Would you please explain to us how that works on the unscripted side, which it might be the same process, but if you wouldn't mind talking us through that.
Yeah, it's the same process.
Okay.
Of course, we'll reach out, we'll interview, and then we'll, have you send in your assets to get edited. We send you off to the network and they make their yays or their nays.
Okay. Do you guys do screen tests on that kind of stuff, on that end of things, or not really?
Sometimes, not really. It's more of so a conversation, but not really I would say on the ensemble cast side, yes. But not more so the game competition side. It's more so the test is when you get there.
All right, I understand that. And another thing for you, typically on a given audition date, how many tapes do you go through? Or would you say for people that are thinking of applying to your show, which I believe says 99 The Beat, is that correct?
Yes.
When should they go about applying? What is the best chance for someone to be seen? Because obviously you probably get, I want to say thousands of tapes, but would it be smarter to send in that tape earlier as possible, or maybe waiting? What would you, or take us through one, your process of going through those tapes, and then two, for person submitting?
Okay, well, the great thing about 99 to Beat is you don't have to submit a tape.
Oh, really?
You just have to fill out that application. I tell people for this specific show, it's as soon as we drop the flyer is the best time. I always say right before that first pitch, it's always the best time because anybody can get in because it's like at that moment, unless it's like a second season, the network doesn't really know like what they want yet, unless they come to you like, oh, like for 99 to Beat last season, we knew they wanted a family of 15. They wanted these unique stories. But sometimes for second seasons, they don't know what they want yet. So it's always best for you to, as soon as you see casting producers drop the flyer, boom, apply. You know, and then we'll call you if we look at your page. Because a lot of people joke, I joke often, you know, everybody's not right for TV. Like if you know you have a face for radio, don't apply for Love Island. You know, if you know you don't fit what the show looks like, don't apply for the show. I mean, you know, you want to apply for things that are appropriate to you. Like if you know you don't like bugs, maybe you should apply for Fear Factor. Like like use wisdom. And I think I always say, you know, you should definitely have a face for television. If you have a face for television, it may not work out, you know. And myself, I'm honest with people. If everybody knows,
the right answer.
I'm sorry, Mama Rush.
That's the right answer. Be honest with people about it. Right answer.
Yeah, I definitely try to be, and I think anybody can tell you I'm open. If you send me a DM and you're like, hey, I didn't get this, and I'm like, well, let me look at your page. Let me see what you could do different, or okay, you've been applying to XYZ shows. Maybe it's your story. Maybe you keep telling the same story over and over, or maybe you know what you're saying isn't matching via your social media. Because a lot of people always ask, you know, do I have to have a huge social media following? You don't, but you need to have your personality. It definitely plays a big role because as casting producers today, like I would say things have changed for me casting pre-COVID versus COVID. Pre-COVID, I worked on this one development show where I had to knock on doors in Oxnard, California to find, it was without saying the show, because I think it picked up, I had to literally knock on doors and be like, I'm a casting producer, this is what we're looking for, blah, blah, blah. Versus now, I'm not knocking on nobody's door.
No, of course not.
Now that's the truth.
Especially not as a brother, man.
No, definitely not as a brother. I'm not knocking on nobody's door. I mean, I may hold an open call. I know I was able to do that for Love is Blind. I'm sorry, not Love is Blind. Ready to Love Chicago. And that was so much fun being able to see the people and talk to the people. But now it's mainly social media. You know, we're searching Facebook groups. We're searching social media pages, Instagram, TikTok. So I always tell people, you want to be on TV? I do a little series weekly. So you want to be on TV? So you want to work in TV via Threads? And I'm just giving out nuggets. So you want to be on TV, but your page is private. So you want to be on TV, but you can't follow directions. If we ask you to type somebody's name in an application and you're just like Instagram, of course we're not going to see you. You're going to fall in the pool with everyone else. So I try to be honest and open with people because at the end of the day, not everyone knows how it works. If you're, you know, most networks want you to reach out to Sally in North Dakota. Sally in North Dakota don't know how to fill out an application. So I try to be patient because though to us, it's not rocket science because we work in this industry, but I often tell myself not everybody is aware of the industry. So I just try to be patient and I try to, if you put my name on the application, if I don't call, I try to make sure you're reached out to. Just
absolutely. Keicon, I heard you say something which I greatly appreciate of you. You said that you do a thing every week on Threads, I think you said, where you kind of tell people. That is amazing because that is opening up opportunities to people that don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like because a lot of stuff in our business in general is such a gatekeeper community in a lot of different avenues, that for you to go out of your way, because that's once again something you don't have to do. But that's also a reason why God has continued to bless you to work as long as you are, because you have put those avenues where you're helping people. And I'm pretty sure that even comes from the PA side because you go through all kinds of stuff on that as well. So I think that's amazing. What is that called that people can find that where they could tune in if they wanted to?
Just threads. Follow me via threads. I try to post every day. So you want to work in TV, just a little nugget.
Okay.
Threads. So yeah, just casting with Keicon. That's on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all threads. I try to post and try to give nuggets to people.
Okay. And then I also saw something I had to give you the utmost credit for too. I saw that you made that post about the casting directors that you should know. And you made that big thing. I thought that was amazing because you're helping so many people out on so many different levels. Not just on the actors or regular people that are joining these game shows, but on the casting side, because that's putting them on to people that might not know who they are.
Definitely.
What made you think about doing that or putting that together?
Well, it was a few things. So, the first person, well, I guess page to do it was Black Script. So they had included me on a list as casting directors to follow. And I will say, though I do have like my LLC as in Keicon Cherry, I'm sorry, casting with Keicon, I don't consider myself a casting director. And I think to the normal person, I think they just tie us all as in, oh, you're a casting director. Technically, I mean, I guess I could be, but I'm not. I'm more of a casting producer without getting technical with what the specific roles are. And I guess I can briefly say it. So the casting director is the person who the network comes to, and they are like the boss, so to speak. The casting director then hires the casting producer who mainly does like interview. We may do some outreach, but we do the interviews, we write the pitch sheets. The casting associate producer is the person who does like the outreach, where the people calling. And sometimes they may write a pitch page here or there. And then you have like casting assistants who are people who are kind of like, assisting the casting associates with maybe, a network needs them to find something specific. They'll find that. And then you have like recruiters who kind of come in and they'll find like those miscellaneous as well. So that's kind of the tier, but to the normal person, you're all casting directors. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of times our titles get confused and people are like, you're not at us. And it's like, no, I know, but the normal person doesn't, and it's totally fine. We work in casting. So I wanted to make that list because all Black, Script Black had made, or Black Script had made that list first. They did it a while and they had put me on people who I didn't know. But I have so many colleagues that I have worked with. And a lot of people always send, and that was another thing, because I do those, so you want to work in TV, so you want to be on TV threads. I had a lot of people always asking me, well, who else can I follow? Who else can I do? And because I work with a lot of these people, and sometimes, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out there who are, posing as casting producers for like some of these starting upcoming shows. And so I just wanted to, as a professional, shout out some of my colleagues, people who have been doing it way longer than me. And a lot of us who were under 10,000 followers at that time, I know we work on these high level shows because a lot of times the normal person sees the talent we put out, but they don't get to see who put this person on screen. So a lot of us have these casting databases, and a lot of us are working on these high profile shows. So I just wanted to use my little platform and, promote, everybody else who was doing it, and then kind of show a leeway of these are professionals. These are people who actually work in casting. They're viable. Because that's a huge thing. A lot of people are getting scammed. I often tell people because they're like, well, how do I know if I'm getting scammed? Main thing, are they charging you?
Yeah.
Are they asking you for money? If they book you for something, do you have to pay for like your travel? Do you have to pay for hotels? 9 times out of 10, a network production isn't going to make you do that. They're going to cover that, and you're going to get paid for, being on the show, if it's not like a game show or something. But even then, a per diem is in place. So I wanted to make that mainly to shout out my casting community, as well as to make people follow them and sign them to their casting databases, because it's hard out here sometimes, when a network wants you to find a specific thing, and it's like, does anybody know such and such? And 9 times out of 10, your colleague may have ran across somebody. So that's why I made that. I know there was a very long, drawn out explanation, but the reason why I did that.
I'm so glad you explained that, because I was going to ask a question about safety. And safety when you have a young group of people going out there and not knowing what to click on, who is a con, who may not be a con, a scammer, a crazy person out there. So what advice would you give to those young group of followers that we do have in that range of 15 to 18 or 20?
Google. I would definitely say Google. Check a person's if you because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't come up on Google. I know back in the day, like pre-COVID, and even film school was this whole IMDb thing, which
Mm-hmm.
yes, some of our credits may be on IMDb, but a lot of times we're not. Like most of the shows I work on are not on my IMDb page.
Mm-hmm.
I think like all my IMDb is like student film stuff I did in college. However, check the LinkedIn. See what their LinkedIn looks like. Look on their page. Have they been posting casting flyers? Do they only have one photo? Google them. Google will be a good friend of yours. Type in, often see if anybody you know follows them. Have they reached out to anybody else you know? Always be careful. Again, I always say if they are asking for money, now granted, you do have those platforms like Backstage and
Yeah.
things like that that are requiring me. Some may require you to pay, but if if I reach out to somebody and I'm like, hey, you can apply for this show if you send me $300, I'll guarantee you on the show. That's another thing. If you're a casting producer is guaranteeing you a spot on the show, 9 times out of 10 we don't have that power. We can guarantee you a Zoom interview, but a guaranteed spot on the show. Because ultimately, I mean, there have been people who I have given an A++ to, and I love them. I love their story, and they still didn't make the show. So just look out for things like that. The main thing is doing your due diligence. If it feels off, 9 times out of 10, it is off.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
Keicon, I wanted to say one of the reasons why I've been very blessed in my career because I started my career off in Los Angeles. I've been blessed working Los Angeles. I've worked all the United States: Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, London now. But I was a person who agents wouldn't give me the time of day at first. So I did showcases with casting associates and casting directors, and except in Atlanta. Atlanta, my agents did everything. I got full credit there. I want to say that because they're the ones that introduced me to casting there. But it was the casting associates and assistants and directors are the ones that gave me the opportunity to be seen and be heard. And one of my goals was always to give back, which is why I loved having casting directors on this show because we are blessed to have such a big platform. I wanted to bring attention to these people that have helped me become who I am. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to be there for my mom when she's needed me, and I wouldn't have been able to be there for my dad when he was still alive battling pancreatic cancer. But they gave me opportunities to be with my family because I was working all over the world pretty much. But with that being said, I love that you did that I wanted to relate that to the fact that with the list that they created of you putting people on to certain people casting producers that might be out there. I think that's a great thing. And that's one of the reasons I'm happy you came on here today.
Thank you.
And then also a question to ask you, what have you learned about storytelling and personalities from casting so many people during your time?
I've learned that everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a story. To the warehouse worker working at Amazon, to the single mom working 3 jobs to provide for her children. Everybody has a story. I just think as a producer, sometimes we have to pull it out. I know for this show, our unique things is taglines. And so even though we tell people like, look, we need you to come up with a tagline along the lines of these something, people come up with these long drawn out things. I'm like, I can tell you didn't read the email along the something. But just learning that literally everybody has a story. It just takes, the right person to pull it out of them.
Absolutely. I think you being a people person, I'm a people person too, and so is my mom.
Yeah,
I've always loved meeting people, especially during my travels. I've been blessed to meet so many people, but I love hearing this because it really is entertaining. And I think you can learn a lot about a person and you can see how much we have. You'd be surprised how much we have in common with so many people that are from different backgrounds, that how much we have in common. I love that. And that's a great thing you were saying. And the fact that you're able to hear people's stories.
Yeah, I think stories are interesting, and I just love it as well as Brandon's mentioned, and you may have mentioned as well. But I want to ask you a question: was there a turning point in your career where you realized, you had found your lane?
I would say yes. It was actually when I started casting. Well, no, I can go back before then. It was grad school. 2016. It was my experimental filmmaking class. I wish I remember my professor's name. I see his face, but I don't remember his name. However, it was that time I had, and mind you, I just have to speak to going to Full Sail. I loved my time at Virginia State University. It was at HBCU. I always say HBCUs teach you how to stand in your African Americanness in a white society, so to speak. But Full Sail taught me how to do the job and how to keep the job, which I really appreciate that. That program changed my entire life. But the turning point for me of finding my niche, so to speak, and I would say my niche, which would be casting, as well as, telling these unique stories, as well as development, was my experimental filmmaking class. For Full Sail, it's a hands-on university, which I love, and I tell students this all the time when I go back to speak at State as well as Full Sail, that in order to, everybody's like, how do I break in the industry? You need credits on your resume. So Full Sail gave us the opportunity to have stuff on our resume to then present to companies. Hey, I can do this. I've done this. I was paid for this. I know how to pick up trash. I know how to make, I know how to, write a pitch sheet. I know how to do this. I know how to talk to people. I know how to interview. So for me, it was that experimental filmmaking class where everybody was doing all these films and we had sci-fi. And for me, I did a reality show. I took my friends. It was about 6 of us. I think we had a little Canon camera, and we recorded the Real College Students of Orlando.
Yes,
From then on, I said, just my teacher, I got an A for the class. I was valedictorian of my class. However, my teacher was like, if you don't know what you want to do, this is it right here. But I always knew I had, in my mind, I had wanted to follow the careers of producers and executive producers like that of Dr. Holly Carter. She does faith-based, a lot of faith-based entertainment in television shows. And then, of course, Carlos King, who is he is the king of reality television right now. So I kind of followed their careers and just kind of saw some of the shows that they did, and I was like, I want to do that. So I would definitely say that experimental filmmaking class to answer your question.
Okay, great. Brandon is from Virginia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into.
Virginia, you mentioned that in the beginning, but I know exactly where your university is. I've been on that campus before, and I tell you, it's nothing like the HBCUs. I tell you the truth. I had that experience myself. I finished South Carolina State University, and I wanted that because what happens is they force integration in South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina originally, and they forced integration, and I miss that band going. Instead of going so what I did is I told my father, I said, I'm just going to apply it, and I could have gotten into any Ivy League schools. I told my dad, I said, no, I'm going to apply on at 2 universities. It was Howard University and South Carolina State University. And I got into both of those universities. And the reason I went to South Carolina State, because my daddy the previous year had left my sister on the corner. She went to Howard too. And on the corner, and gave them a map after he'd gotten them enrolled and everything. And the reason my other sister went there too, gotten them enrolled, left them on the corner, drove away. And here I am, this kid looking at my father, leaving my sisters on the corner in Washington, D.C. I said, how in the world I am going to find my way? So with that, it was a shock. So I said, you know what? If I go to South Carolina State University, I'm only 45 minutes away from home, so I can get back to my home. But that experience, I'll tell anybody that was one of the best experiences I've had in my lifetime. And then I was recruited from South Carolina State to go work for DuPont in Delaware. So that experience, I can chalk it up to like, thank you, Jesus. I had what I really wanted in my life. And it has made all the difference in the careers that I've pursued. So I'm a scientist, but let's get back to you. Okay. I just wanted to explain a little bit that Brandon, we lived in Virginia for about how many years? 32 years, I believe it was.
Yes, ma'am.
And Brandon, go ahead.
Keicon, I wanted to ask you, my heroes are my parents. They always have been. The reason I am today is because of who my parents and how they raised me. Who are those people in your lifetime? I want the audience now to get to know you more. The casting side I love, and thank you so much for breaking that down. But I want our audience and the people out there to get to know more about you and maybe things that they didn't know, like your upbringing and all that, and people that probably had an impact on you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a whole village.
Let's hear it.
It took
Great.
it took a village for me. So
It
I
does.
definitely have to start with my mom, Yolanda Burgess. She is a principal broker now in Virginia. She made history. She is the first
Mm,
African American female principal broker in Louisa County, Virginia. She made
Wow.
history last year. So my mom, she was a teen mom. She was a single mom for a long time, and then my
mhm,
stepdad came along. And I would really say those two were the main.
Mhm.
I mean, they always believed in me. As like I said, I'm a singer. My mom, she was always driving me to competitions to compete.
mm,
She
Yeah.
always had me in church. My whole family is in the church. My mom's an ordained minister. My stepdad's an ordained elder in the church. So
Oh,
just
wow.
being praise and worship leader. So growing up in the church, that was really a strong foundation for me. And then being raised, my grandparents, I had older cousins
mm.
who were like really older, like we call them Miss and Mrs. We from I'm in the country, so older because they're like, that's your cousin. I'm like, yeah, that's Miss Barbara, that's Miss Barbara. So yeah,
Yeah.
those
That's
those
the
those
Southern
ladies.
way.
Yeah, strong women. I was around a lot of strong women. And then of course my aunts, my Aunt Vera, my Aunt Amy, my mom's sisters, they really instilled a lot in me and just, being with them for summers and being with my cousins and doing things of that
Mm,
nature, just being around family. So I really
mm,
have to say my family. And then, of course, I would say my mentor, Troy DeVoe, who I met later in life at Full Sail. But I didn't have to go back to just singing on the campus of Virginia State University. My tribe at the time, my friends, we really hyped each other up. We really
mhm,
believed in each other. So I sung with the Virginia State University Gospel Chorale, and
Wow.
I got to go on tour with them. And just my director, Perry
mm,
Evans, he probably doesn't know, but he had a great impact on me as well. Just how to carry myself, when I'm in public, take my do
mm,
off, how to walk through the airport, how to
mhm,
show up when it's time to perform. So I would just say I
mm.
had a huge village, and then of course. My dad, I met my dad when I was 16, my real dad when I was 16, and just, his presence in my life. And my grandparents, what the song said, I had a praying grandmother. And
Oh,
Oh,
amen. I know
amen.
that's
a
right. You taking
praying
up the
grandmother,
church.
right? I had a praying grandmother, and literally, I really am where I am right now. Not only because of just seeing my parents drive and their hustle, but just more so believing in myself and just staying prayed up and staying focused and
Oh, this is.
having focus. Full Sail has a saying. They tell every graduate, don't have a good year, have a good 10 years. Because you think about it, a year flies by like that. I
It
mean,
does.
literally, COVID was what, 6, 7 years ago? Even though
Yeah.
it feels like yesterday, I just
Yeah.
celebrated 2025, my 10-year college reunion, which
Oh,
is
wow.
crazy. My time at Virginia State, it feels like that was yesterday. I'm coming up
Yeah.
on 2 years next year being out of Full Sail, which is even crazier because that time seems like literally it was yesterday. So I really try to live by that. Don't have a good year, have a good 10 year, and just plan it. I'm a firm believer in the Bible and just I think the scripture is Habakkuk 2:2 where it says, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
I'm even writing everything down. Um,
Mm,
People perish, without vision. Without vision, the people perish. So I always write what I want down. I always have to. I'm very meticulous. I need to do
Yeah.
by this time. I need to do this by this time. I need to do this. So any and everything that I want to do, it's been written down. I have a photo of me at Full Sail, and I think I was about to graduate, and it was like, well, it was a dream board. And it was like, what do you know? I said, after I leave here, I will be moving in LA and I
Yeah.
will be actively working in Hollywood. And just from writing that, and I think I dated it, and it comes up every year when I post it, and I just often look. It's so crazy how you think dream, and I'll tell people this: your dreams aren't that far. Like
Yeah.
I thought that I need to dream bigger, and I tell myself dream bigger, dream bigger, dream bigger, because I thought what I'm doing now, looking back, it was so far away, but I didn't realize
mm,
how close it actually was. And now to
Mhm.
be actively doing what was just a dream and or a thought, it blows my mind daily. So I don't want to get off track, but
No, no, you're good.
this
Hey,
is
no, no, you're good.
perfect.
yeah,
This is
to answer your
Yeah.
perfect.
No, no, you're not on track. You're right on
okay,
track with
You're
God
right
too.
on
okay,
track.
perfect. Well, to bring it back in, as I tell people,
Yeah. No, you're
bring
That's
good.
it
all
back
right.
in.
You on this bullet train and it's
Perfect,
moving fast.
perfect,
Okay.
Yeah.
perfect,
Keep
perfect.
going.
Perfect. So to reel it back in, my village would be just my community of people, a goulash, if you will,
Yeah.
of people. And I also have to give credit to my sister's dad, Keith Cherry, because he was in the Air Force. So as a young age, I was an Army brat. I traveled and bounced around and always got to. I think that's where that people person came in. I was always in a different school, so I always got to kind of reinvent myself. I always got to meet people. I always got to talk and introduce myself to people. You spoke about living in South Carolina. I grew up in Goose Creek on the Air Force
Oh,
Oh
Base
wow.
in Austin. So, yeah, shout outs to Goose Creek. So I got to grow up there. I was
uh-huh.
overseas in Japan. I spent most of my life, being again around my grandparents. My mom was a teen mom. So just, going through that and just seeing my mom, the sacrifices that she made along with my stepdad, because when he came in, it was new to him. He had his own kids. But he came in and stepped in and was that father figure in our home as well. And he taught, just seeing him be the man that he is, it really, made an impact on me and just, told me how to get my money, how to make sure my affairs were in order, and how to just carry myself in public.
Wow.
Absolutely. It sounds like you have a beautiful upbringing. And also, in the fact of us telling people stories, the amount of stuff that we have in common is absolutely crazy. From the church to grandparents to all my mom's sisters, my dad's siblings, help raising us and all. Me spending my summers down in South
Yeah.
Carolina with my grandparents. It is so
Right,
simple.
right,
In the church all the time because
right.
my grandfather was a minister.
Yes.
So I was always in church.
Same.
But
And Brandon had a praying grandmother as
yeah.
well.
Oh, big time. Big time. I still, when I
Definitely.
pray to them, I'm like, man, I know they have the big man's ear up there. So I'm just like, I know I'm good.
Right,
But
right.
it's that village, I think, truly has a lasting impact on you and on us. And especially taking that out to LA, which obviously is
Mhm.
way different, as you know.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you didn't have that, I feel like if you didn't, I know when I was in college, I was graduating college, I was writing down my thing about going to LA and all that after graduating University of South Carolina. I was writing everything down, but I was preparing myself by going to church and preparing myself mentally for all the stuff that I didn't know what I didn't know what I'd be going through, but mine is Isaiah 6:8. I heard the voice of the Lord saying who should go for us and
Yeah.
who will, and here am I, send me. And that's exactly what I did. And it's if not for the upbringing I had on the East Coast, I don't think I would have been able to survive in LA like I did.
Listen, I say that all the time that I am thankful that was born and raised on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've been to LA, it'll be 9 years come September. The Lord delays is coming. However, I will say I am so thankful that I had the upbringing that I did. LA is not for the faint at heart. I've
Yeah.
seen people come, I've seen people leave, I've seen LA eat some people up. But
Yeah.
I'm so thankful. Even in LA, I have a strong, solid, my friend group. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
My church that I go to, New Antioch Church of God in Christ, it feels real East Coast, which I always like. East Coast, like it's so East Coast. But I'm thankful for a community and a group of believers that keeps me in check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
You need that, especially in LA. Like you need that because sometimes you can lose yourself,
Yes,
especially
you
in this
can.
You
industry. And
lose
I'm
your
so
way.
thankful that I'm saying that I'm in my right mind. I haven't had to do anything strange for no change.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Seriously.
LA is a different beast.
You're not
That's
lying.
right.
Yeah, I've been blessed to, still actively work in this career. Like I was saying, I graduated 2017, almost 10 years. I'm almost at my 10-year mark to actively be working in my career. A lot of my classmates, they're not working in the industry right now. And I'm thankful that, I had enough drive and I had enough focus because for me, I didn't have a plan B. It was
Yeah.
either, I don't know. I couldn't see myself working at the bank every day. Like,
You're
Oh,
play-
sorry.
no, I was gonna say your
yeah,
plan B
no, I
was
can
your
see.
plan A, and that
My
was
Yes,
making
plan
it.
B
plan
was
A, plan A plus, plan A plus plus. That's
Yeah.
exactly
exactly,
the right
exactly.
answer. I told Brandon when he went out to LA, I said, don't let LA take you. You take LA. Do you
Yes,
understand?
you're
That
right.
way, so you won't lose your way.
You're
And
right.
and and it's easy for that to happen. But I want to ask you, after meeting thousands of contestants, how has it changed the way you read people now?
I've always had the gift of discernment.
You,
Amen.
Brandon, I both have.
Oh, ever since I was a kid, and anybody in my family can say that if I could I want to say it hasn't changed much, to be honest, because I've always had this sense of okay, that person a little weird, or ooh,
Yeah.
that's a story, or it's like, ooh, you a star. So I've always been that type of person where I can always tell that's just, I guess that's one of my gifts that I've always had,
Yeah.
which is probably why I'm great in the field that I am in now, and it doesn't feel like work. I just feel like I'm talking to a friend. But I would say the only thing, it's taught me to be a little more compassionate and have a little more patience, because going back to, everybody has a story. Sometimes,
Mhm.
I get on Zoom with these people and they're able to talk about things that they're not able to talk about in their regular life. Like I always
Mhm.
ask, what's one of the hardest things you've had to overcome? And sometimes that causes people to take a beat and to really think, like, what have I overcome? And people will cry, and that'll open the
Mhm.
door, to talk about other things. And so I would just say, if anything, it's taught me to be a little more compassionate and not as quick
Mhm.
with people.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm
Oh,
going to borrow that question from you because I didn't even think about that, because that's actually a great one. In fact, what's the hardest thing you've had to overcome if you want to talk about it?
Oh God, what? I would say, what is the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome? Because I look at everything like I went through it for a reason. Like we go through things not just for ourselves, but I feel like we go through things for other people, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. But I would say maybe moving to LA. And
Mm.
I'm sure hard things will come to me after I get off of this, because it's funny. Because I ask people that, I often say, what would I say? But I would say the hardest thing I had to overcome, maybe, I don't know. I would say maybe it's kind of two. The transition from HBCU life to PWI life
Mhm.
was kind of tough, because I was this here I was this senior traveling the world with the choir, confident in my blackness, going to this PWI. Now I think I was in my 20s. I thought I was like maybe 24, 23. Now living with these like young white kids who didn't really know much about anything. This is
Yeah.
I'm living alone. So I'm like, think I got these four little brothers now who don't really get along, but we do. It's like I'm older. That was kind of weird. But I would say moving to LA the first time. Even though I had
Yeah.
all this hunger when I first got there, I was poor. I think I
Yeah.
left to LA. I think I left Florida. I worked that whole summer because I left, graduated 2017, I graduated in May, went back to Virginia, worked that whole summer, and then went into LA in September. And
Mhm.
when I got to LA, I think I had like $1,000 or something, maybe $1,000 in a duffel bag. That was such a tough time. I was doing a
Yeah.
lot of jobs at the time. And for some reason, and I still laugh at this today because it's LA culture, but I was too prideful to ride the bus. I don't know
Really.
why I was
It's-
prideful to ride the bus. And I was like, I'm not riding no bus. I have a master's degree. What else? I was renting cars, which is
yeah.
so dumb now that I think about it, because now I ride the train just to avoid traffic and have a nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it was just more so moving to LA, thinking, even though I knew I was just starting, I felt like I should have been further along in my career than I was. But looking back,
Mhm.
I was right where I needed to be,
Amen.
mhm.
right
That's
where I
Amen.
needed to be. And I think a lot of times people think that they should be further along in life than where they are.
mhm.
But in all actuality, you are right exactly where you need to be.
Oh,
Amen.
thank
Man, I need to hear that myself. I'm glad you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
and then also thank you, because I got to realize what it felt like to be on your side of the table, and then you
Yeah.
got to figure out what it's like to be on my side of the table.
you. Yeah.
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
Brandon,
Um,
you ready for the lightning round?
yes, I'm about to go into lightning round with you, Keicon. You've been absolutely wonderful today. So lightning rounds are quick. It's one-offs, or you can make it as long as you want to.
Okay.
We have two here. I want to make sure that we have the right questions on the. Actually, does mom not have? We have two.
Okay.
All right, let's go with. We'll go with. I'll go through both of them.
Okay.
First thing you notice about someone in an audition.
Their smile.
Okay.
Hmm.
Best audition you've ever seen.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna go with. Oh, that's tough because I see a lot. I mean, for me, I'll say this: personality. Anybody with big energy and personality.
Okay, that sounds good. I think that I was gonna say one quality every great performer has.
Personality.
Yeah. What is the hardest part of casting?
The nose. Telling people no. Or I mean, thankfully, I don't. I try to do it in a way where it's like, look, if you don't hear back by XYZ date, then they decided to go back in a different direction, because that is true. But having somebody who you're always reaching out to and they don't get that opportunity, that kind of sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm that's good for anyone that's in the business, or actors as well, to hear that, because they don't realize, just to say this, they don't realize how much you all are working for us or fighting for us
Yeah.
all the time. And they always say, oh, it's a cast. I'm like, no, there's people
Yeah.
higher up than that are making the final decision. Don't blame casting. They're helping you out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
A show you would love to cast one day.
Oh, The Voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest misconception about reality TV?
That is fake.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, I was curious myself.
Yeah.
Coffee or energy drinks on casting days?
Energy drinks. Red Bull me, please.
Advice in one sentence for someone chasing a dream?
No one can be you at being you. Be yourself.
Amen. Favorite moment working in television?
Ooh. Steve Harvey after party. No, Christmas party. Yeah.
Okay. I love his stuff. I love how much advice he gives to the audience. In fact, that tears me up sometimes when the things he says.
Hands down, favorite show to work on.
Yeah.
After every show, Mr. Harvey is such a genuine guy. I'm so sad that they're no longer with NBC, but that was one of the best shows I worked on. And I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. He's hilarious, king of comedy, hilarious. But he would come out after every single show, and he had long days, and he would speak to every single crowd and tell his testimony. I literally felt like I was in church. One time, this lady, went slamming. He was like, I ain't never did that before. Lady, slam in. But that was my favorite show working on.
Yeah, I would love that. Let's see here. I think I said favorite moment working television. That was a Steve Harvey one. What makes someone unforgettable on screen?
Their energy and their personality.
Okay, I like that. And then there's a few more from this other one. Just make sure I had. Do you prefer self-tape or in-person audition?
In person.
Okay. What matters more, personality or talent?
Personality.
Okay. Biggest casting mistake people make in submission videos?
Not confident. My name, like what? No, speak clearly.
Okay, and then reality TV villain or reality TV hero?
Ooh, villain.
Okay. What's the fastest you've ever known someone was perfect for a show?
10 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
And then this is my final one for myself personally. If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self anything, what would it be?
Ooh. Save your money.
That sounds good. Well, Keicon, you've been absolutely amazing today. I'm sorry for the times that we have butchered your name on today. But I appreciate you coming on this show. You're more than welcome back here anytime. If you ever think there's someone that you might think is perfect for the show, you just send them my way. I'm all for it. And then I'm pretty sure my mom has some words as well.
Well, Keicon, I must say thank you for spending time with us today. Your journey and I just said but your journey from production assistant to casting producer shows the dedication and persistence can accomplish anything in the entertainment world. We appreciate you giving our listeners a behind the scenes look at how talent is discovered and how stories are brought to life on television. To our listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe, where we bring you inspiring voices and powerful journeys, as you have witnessed and listened to today of Keicon. Thank you, Keicon.
And we give everyone a round of applause at the end, Keicon. You've been phenomenal. Send me what picture you want to have for this. I'll have this done in just a couple of hours. I work pretty fast.
Okay, perfect. And please forgive me for the transition. I'm in Georgia right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the light just went away.
No, you're good. You're good. It looked good. I liked that you were taking us through a journey. So I enjoyed myself.
Well, Keicon, I hope you've had fun today with Mama Rush and Brandon. Okay.
I did. I definitely did. And I would definitely be sending you some guys in the casting world to speak to have some interesting stories.
Perfect. Well, you have a blessed day, and we look forward to having on them when they come. And then thank you as well. You have a good rest of your night.
You guys,
Keicon, before we leave,
I forgot that.
Your voice. You say you sang on a choir.
Yeah, so I'm a contemporary gospel recording artist. I have music out.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have a song you want to close out with?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
Okay, sure. Let's see. And it's so funny because I was just telling somebody I always have a go-to song. Okay. I've had some good days. I've had some lonely days. I've had some sleepless nights and some rainy days. I'm gonna fast forward because those are definitely not the lyrics. But when I look around and think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. I won't complain.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
Amen. Thank you. We haven't had anyone do that. Thank you.
Sorry, I butchered the words. My bad. But
Oh, no, you were beautiful. Hey,
Beautiful.
I like to read my
Beautiful.
remix.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Keicon Cherry. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a blessed day.
Outstanding,
He was
Brandon.
outstanding, Mom. He was
you.
absolutely
Oh, yeah.
outstanding.
All right, bye, guys.
Oh, yeah.